Okay, guys, so this video is because I have to be out today for seniors activities. So we're just going to do all types of slope practice, and I want y'all to do the worksheet in a certain way. So I'm going to do a few examples with you to explain how I want you to do it, and then you just need to complete the worksheet and turn it in, please. Okay, so I'm going to do examples 2 and 6 and 10 and 14 and 18 with you. Okay, so for the first 9 questions, all they want you to do is find the slope of each line. So when you're finding slope, you need to make sure that you have it in y equals mx plus b. Okay, so for number 2, this is already in y equals mx plus b. So I just need you to tell me what's an m spot. And remember, m does not include the x. So you're just going to write m equals negative 7 over 2. And that's your answer. So make sure you circle it, do something to where I can find it easily. Now, for number 6, this is not in y equals mx plus b. So remember the chant if you need to. Move the x by changing the sign. So I'm going to subtract 5x. If you need to draw that bar to split your problem, go ahead. That cancels here to leave me with negative 4y equals negative 5x plus 16. Okay, now divide by the number in front of y. And when we divide by the number in front of y, we divide everything by that number. And that gives me y equals a negative divided by a negative is a positive, and I can't do 5 divided by 4, so 5/4 x, and a positive divided by a negative is a negative 4. All I want is the slope, which is the number in front of x, so m equals 5/4. Circle, box, do something to your answer. That's how you're going to do the top 9 questions, okay? Now, for this part, it says show your work with the formula. I'm going to show you 2 ways that you can do this, and I'll let you pick the way you like better. But I want to see this plug in no matter what, so I can make sure you know how to use your formula. It's y2 minus y1 over, and I'm sorry, the way the computer software said, I couldn't write it differently, x2 minus x1. So if you would, x1, y1, x2, y2. What I want to see is that plug-in. I want to see negative 13 minus negative 11 over 19 minus negative 13. So we're just doing y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. If you don't want to have to change your double negatives, you don't have to. You can go straight to your calculator, open up a fraction, and type it the exact way it is. Negative 13 minus negative 11, and then 19 minus negative 13. And when you hit enter, it will simplify it for you. So my answer for this problem is negative 1/16. Okay, now there is another way you could do it, and I'm going to show it to you. It takes a little bit more work in the calculator. You could do stat edit. I could type in negative 13 and 19, and then I could type in negative 11 and negative 13. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Negative 11, negative 13. And if you look, now you have your order pairs, negative 13, negative 11, 19, negative 13. You can do stat, calc, number 4, down to calculate, and hit enter. And then they give you that the slope is a equals negative 0.0625, which if you do, let's see if this will work. Negative 0.0625, math, enter. It will convert it back to a fraction for you, which is what we got. So you have the 2 choices to do. If you're going to do it with the calculator and do stat edit, I want to see what your a equals, and you're going to have to convert it for me. If you want to just do this formula, do the formula. Your choice, but either way, I have to see some kind of work. Now, for 14 through the remainder of the problems, you have to show me 4 things. It says, tell if the line is positive, negative, 0, or undefined slope. So first thing I'm going to do is look at this line. This line is going downhill, so that means negative. So I'm going to write negative. Okay, then it says find M and B. So 2 is M, 3 is B. Remember, M stands for slope. B stands for y-intercept. You can start with whichever one's easier. Your y-intercept is 0. I'm going to put B equals 0. And then I'm going to put m equals, and I know I have a point here, so I just need to find another point, and there's another point right there. So I'm going down 1 and right 2. So this is negative 1 over 2. For step 4, it says plug it into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to do y equals, I know m is negative 1/2 x, and then since b is 0, I can drop it and I'm done. If you had a b, you would have to put plus or minus the number. Okay, moving to the last question I'm going to do with you. I picked this one for a reason. Okay, so step 1 is tell me if it's positive, negative, 0, or undefined. When a line goes up and down is undefined. Okay, so your slope, your m, you are technically, you can rise as many as you want, but when you run, you're not running any. So if you do any number over 0, so just an example to show you. So like if I did 8 divided by 0, it's going to say error because you can't go into 0. So technically your slope, you have none. Okay, now your y-intercept, again, it's not crossing the y-axis, so I put none. So when I plug in my equation, I don't have an m, I don't have a b, so this is not a y equals equation, but there is still an equation for this line. If you look at this line is crossing the x-axis. So I put x equals, and I put where it crosses x at, which is at 3, and that'd be the equation of my line. Okay, you're going to finish this paper, and then you may turn it in, and then stay quiet, and don't get in trouble.